Paul Wilkinson here, piano teacher and musician. So interesting times at the moment, isn't it, with the virus and everything. So this is a video, just a few observations I'd like to share with fellow musicians who are doing sort of remote lessons via Skype or FaceTime or Zoom. So I've done about 15 or so far, and I think they've all gone really well, actually. Let me think about some of the things that I've found. Well, let's talk about the setup. So basically, I have my piano in front of me. I'm using my iPad behind me, which gives a great angle on the keyboard, which is down there. And then also, I've also got my computer set up here so I can send music to the students immediately or after the lesson if we need to, or before the lesson. As far as the cameras work, there is a little bit of time where you have to help the student adjust. I have to adjust the camera so that it's a decent angle. All depends on your ears. It's really great for our ears, actually, this kind of thing as well, which I think is wonderful. And in these times, it seems to work really well. What would I say some of the issues are? I found FaceTime a little bit more clearer on the screen than Skype, but that might be just their broadband connections at that end. So that is one thing. I've noticed that even if the student has the sustain pedal, that doesn't really come through. I would say essentially you must use headphones. It's a much clearer sound if you use headphones. You can hear the student much clearer. I think the plus points are that when the student's at the other end, you can play examples immediately back, so you're not asking them to get off the piano. So I think that's a good thing. I'd love you all to share your other comments below. I think it'd be nice for people. I noticed on the piano forums people are mentioning that as well. So I think overall, I'm just trying to think of any other issues. I've made sure that I don't have my main lights on, because that gives a glare on the hand. A friend of mine mentioned to me a glare on the hand, and he said, a fellow piano teacher, he said that looks a lot better without the glare on the hand. Other things you could do, of course, is send little video lessons before the lesson to the student. That might be a nice thing to do as well. I've done that with a few of my students. Send them the sheet music before the lesson if there's a particular thing you want to have a look at. Write out the scales and things like that. So that's my general observations about it, really. I'm not using a separate webcam, but some people will be. So it's worked really well. I understand because it's new, of course, there are challenges in preparing it, and it has taken me a little bit longer than it normally would face-to-face with the lessons. I mean, I don't think it's quite as good as face-to-face, but I think it does really work well in these times to keep the students motivated. And, you know, to me, imagination is the only truth-bearing factor. And so if we can stimulate that for our students, I think that's a good thing. And I'm not sure it would work with very young students, so a few of my students I've not decided to do it with because I think they're just a little bit too young for that. Also, I'm going to, particularly if the schools close here in the UK, maybe with the younger students, I might split them up to 2 shorter lessons Skyped a week, because if they're going to be at home, it would be nice for them to have another incentive to self-direct their learning, so I can be in contact a little bit more regularly. It's just changing the parameters a little bit, isn't it, and the paradigm in which we work in to make it happen. So I hope you found this video helpful. Do try it. I know it is quite exhausting at first, just getting used to it, but it does work really well, having done Skype lessons before in the past, and FaceTime lessons. So yeah, that's my main observations. Good luck with it all, and keep safe, everybody, and I wish you all the best. Bye for now.